All right. Hello, everybody. It is, what is it here? It's May 23rd. How is everyone? I know I've been busy and it seems like we haven't been on here in a while. We missed last week.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
we
was,
did.
I was
Eh,
actually on a cruise ship last week. First time I've been on a cruise ship in probably 5 years because of the pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually did a Baja cruise. So I was off Ensenada last Thursday.
Well, I want to share something quickly, John.
Okay.
Big, big, big hug. Thank you to you. What happened? You turned this on to Gamma,
Oh yeah.
right? And I started using it. Then I took it to class. This is the teacher who teaches. She's an IT expert. Long time. She's retired and all. And she didn't even know about Gamma. And her eyes went double wide open. Before the class was over, she had created 2 PowerPoints, was working on number 3.
That's awesome.
It was. And she was like, so that's my caveat. The apple I bring to my teacher is new stuff that I learned from you, and I thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, Gamma is really, that is an amazing tool. Not just for PowerPoints, but if you want to put a lead magnet together, like let's say you want to do an ebook, it will actually output an ebook for you because
Yes.
when you go to export, you can export as a PDF or as a PowerPoint. So if you export it as a PDF, you've got yourself an ebook right there. Boom. With the cover, the whole enchilada, all the graphics, the pages numbered. It's like, holy crap, this is awesome. So I would highly, highly recommend if you have not played with Gamma to play around with it. It's super easy to use. When you create, you do what you call create a new Gamma. You just hit the new Gamma button and it opens up 3 different selections. And one of them is you can upload a script. I've had really good luck uploading a script. And where I get the script is I get the script from Perplexity. I go over into Perplexity and you guys have seen my prompts of how I do this. The ultimate thing here, and this is addressing the A part of ACT, which everybody struggles with. Everybody that has ever gone through the ACT program has struggled with the analysis piece. And this makes it so easy. I'm going to give you guys like the blueprint here to do your analysis. You first off, if you've got a website up, let's say you're in business, you've got a product, you think you know how to sell it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But anyway, let's say you've got a website up with a product that describes your product. The first thing I would do is I would take the URL of that website, put it into Perplexity, and say, could you analyze this and tell me what it's about? Now it'll analyze and it'll come back and it'll give you a little dissertation on what it believes that website is about. You read that, and if it's correct, you move forward. If it's not correct, you correct it. You say, no, this is really the goal. This is a product. It's made for this person. It does this. If it doesn't get it right, that tells you one thing. You do not know how to communicate your value on that website. You got a problem. So let's assume that you got it right. Excuse me. Let's assume you got it right and it knows what you're doing. The next thing you want to do is you want to ask it, who is the ideal customer for here? The most profitable customer for this product. And I want to know their demographics, I want to know their psychographics, and I want to know their emotional buying triggers. Tell me everything you can tell me about the ideal customer here. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to build your avatar for you. For you to build your avatar and act, you got to do all this other legwork and preliminary research and stuff that, most of you struggled with and quite honestly didn't do because you didn't want to struggle. So this thing is going to spit it out for you. Now, here's another shortcut, and maybe it might be even a better way. Whatever you were doing, there's probably someone else that's doing it. So find your competitors. Like, part of analysis is competitor analysis. So find your biggest competitors, not necessarily biggest, but the best, the ones that know how to market the best. Go and grab their URL and plug their URL and do the same thing. Say, what is this website about? Tell me what this URL is about. And if it comes back, it might give you better data than it got off of your site because they might know how to communicate better. They might have been doing this longer. They might have paid more to get their marketing done. They might just be doing a better job than you are. If they weren't, you'd probably be outselling them, which I bet you're not. So that's a good indicator. If you've got somebody that's growing a big business, that's flourishing, and they're advertising and all that, they're probably doing better than you are. They probably know how to communicate better. So let it look at their website and then follow the same exact steps. Use the ideal customer for this, because guess what? That is your ideal customer. So leverage their hard work to give you your basis, give you your platform to springboard from. Once it comes back with this, it now knows who it's marketing to. So now you can go deeper. You can start asking it, what's the best lead magnet to grab this person's attention? And it's now trained. You've basically trained it. You took it from just a world of everything knowledge down to now all it's thinking about is your ideal customer. And you've kind of put these guardrails on it. Like, this is what we want to do. This is the box we're playing in today. We want to build a marketing campaign for this person. So this is how you work with the AI. This is really important that you understand how to communicate with the AI. I don't care that you don't know how to communicate with your customers. This is going to fix that. You need to learn how to communicate with this machine. You need to not ask it generic questions. So a lot of people I see using AI, they're just asking it simple, basic questions, and they're getting simple, basic answers. That's not helping. If you create material for your website without focusing on your ideal customer, you are wasting your time and you're being very inefficient. And you're probably going to waste your money because you're going to spend money and time to do it again and again and again until you get it right, when you can just get it right to begin with. So spend some time and really learn how to communicate with AI if you want to get good results. And I'm telling you, this thing is powerful as all get up. It'll churn, it'll crunch all of that data in a matter of seconds, stuff that would take you weeks, months, even years. And it's like going to an ad agency and spending $100,000, and they're gonna do this research over the next 3 months and come back, and you're gonna be $100,000 less money in your pocket. And they're gonna give you the same data that I'm showing you how to get here in about 10 minutes. And you're gonna be $100,000 richer right from the get-go. Wouldn't you like to put that 100 grand into advertising instead of paying some big company to figure out who your ideal customer is? So that it just doesn't make any sense for you guys not to learn how to use this thing. It's so powerful. It's unbelievable. Rashid, go ahead. You got your hand up there first.
Yeah, John, I sent you an email yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not,
Yes,
but
about the associations. Yeah, I was going to save that
yeah,
for the call. So
okay.
one of the things in the past that I've kind of been bringing up because of opportunities that Perry has thrown out for people that are looking for things to do online. One of them is an association. You can create an association around any niche, any market. Again, you want to do your market research to figure out if you should even be doing this or not. Like if you're in something so small and it's not going to attract enough to make it worthwhile, that's something, that would be problematic. And it's the same thing. You are literally creating a product. Who is the product for? Is one thing you want to ask yourself. In an association, Perry, I love Perry's analogy of why people would join an association. And he said he equates it to war and war between countries. He said men will fight and men will die for nothing more than a piece of ribbon. It's the piece of ribbon is what it represents. Like the American flag represents freedom. It's nothing more than a piece of ribbon that men have fought and died for, but it represents freedom. So for us, we didn't have to fight and die. We can all get that piece of ribbon and call ourselves Americans. We are part of an organization. So America itself is one of these things. So by putting that together, when you say who is it for, it's for people that have a desire to belong. Like we all want to belong to something. We all want to identify as something. Like here, what are we? We're all dominators. We are the Association of Internet Dominators. We are a group. We're a force to be reckoned with. Now, I have not really capitalized on this. I came up with this idea probably a dozen years ago. And if you guys ever like been to my website and seen
Yeah.
what's on there? Let me get
Go to
my.
your website every week, dude.
All right. Well, here,
Oh.
let me show you. Have you seen the association? So if you go down to the bottom of the website, there's an emblem right there. If you click on it, it goes to the Association of Internet Dominators. You could be an accredited member of the Association of Internet Dominators.
Ooh, tell me
I,
more.
I actually have a seal here that I have gold stamps that I can literally stamp gold seals and put them on certificates of accomplishment. Like before the pandemic, when I did live events at my house and people would come and we'd spend 2 or 3 days going through the ACT program, I had a test. I passed out a physical piece of paper test. And it was for the most part, it was check boxes, multiple choice. And if you answered predominantly right, I'd let you get a couple wrong. But if you answered predominantly right, you got a certificate of completion. And you are now a certified ACT consultant. And that's part of the Association of Internet Dominators. So it's like creating this thing. People love to hang shit on their walls. How many times have you gone into somebody's office and they got stuff, accolades hanging on their walls to make them, it sounds kind of shitty, but it makes them feel important. It really doesn't mean anything. Like, no, I don't think anybody's going to hire you because you got a bunch of glass frames hanging behind your desk. They're going to hire you for who you are, how you communicate, and what you can do for them. But for some reason, it gives people this warm, fuzzy feeling and they want to be part of it and they will spend money to do it. because they want to be part of something. So that is the association thing. And like I said, I had this idea, a dozen or so years ago, created the framework, and that's about where I stopped because I'm just too lazy to do more shit. But it was the framework for it. And that shows you how easy it is for you to create an association. All you got to do is think of a name, and now you've created an association. You own it. Now it's just a matter of packaging it in a way that people are going to want to be a part of it. So you have to figure out, like I said, who is it for? Who is this for? And what are they going to get out of it? Like, I don't know if you guys know Matt Browning, but Matt, he did NLP training, and he would certify people in NLP and specifically in hypnotherapy. Like, he had one course that was like a weekend course, and you could go and you could literally become a certified hypnotherapist in a weekend. And it was because he owned the association. This was a certificate of his association. So there's no governmental foundation or anything he had to go through. He just created, a membership. He created this association that was his, not governed by anyone other than himself. And then he created the certification program for it. And you could literally walk out the door the end of the weekend and you were a certified hypnotherapist. You could go open an office, hang that thing on your wall, and practice. And I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. That is pretty cool. So wherever you can provide value, now the person, they don't need the certificate to do that. All they need is the knowledge, really. But like Perry said, people will fight, people will die for a piece of ribbon. That certificate is the ribbon. All the ribbon does, it's just like the American flag. It says I'm an American. I stand for freedom. So this is the whole like mentality behind associations. The other thing that an association can do is an association can put on a trade show. An association can be like the gathering pot for a group of like-minded business people. So like, for instance, I used to be a manufacturer in the sport fishing industry. There was an association for fishing manufacturers. Why wouldn't I want to be part of that? Because that's my industry.
Usually means here later on.
I would want to be in there so I could be part of that industry. And now I paid to be a member. I paid my annual dues every year so I could be a member. And if I didn't get to go to the trade show. So the trade show was what made me want to pay my annual dues. The trade show is where business took place. That was a gathering point for all those business people to do business and transact and make money. So if you can position yourself in an industry where you can be the gathering spot, your association puts it on, and you can literally control an industry without even being a part of it. You could be a complete outsider. You could go and identify an industry that doesn't have a trade show, doesn't have someone helping support their members be successful in their business, and you could create an association for that industry. And you could say, hey, be part of the industry. We're going to help you market your business. We're going to help you gather together and become a force to be reckoned with. You could put on trade shows, you could advertise it and bring in their customers to go and see the new stuff that they put out every year. You know, that's just one of the opportunities that Perry put out, was the whole idea of an association. So, and you know, what does it take to put together an association? I think you could probably do it right in Kartra with that little thing called a membership site. You could charge them for it right through there. You could supply a members area for them right through there. Kartra is a perfect solution for anybody that wants to run an association. It's just a member site. It'll do the annual billing for you. You could add extra add-on products in it to sell. I mean, it's a one-stop solution for associations, because that's all an association is. It's just a membership site. You know, in retrospect, that's all it is. The things inside, the reason that you have a membership site is one reason. Well, two reasons, but it comes down to one reason. You provide value, which is kind of a pseudo reason, but you're providing the value so you can sell your shit. That's the reason. That's why you have a membership site. So you can sell your stuff. You know, and the association's no different. It's just another form of it. So does that answer your question, Rashid? It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, easy to do. It's a very easy thing to do. But keep this in mind. Just because it's easy doesn't mean it's easy. How do you like that? Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. It's still a business. And if you don't treat it as such, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Because, you know, just like any business, you got to sell something. You have to transact. And for you to transact, you know, as ACT members, I'm going to give you the test right now. What do we need to do? I think it starts with grab attention. Well, before that, figure out who you're grabbing their attention. And then you grab their attention, you create demand and desire, you eliminate their objections, and you make them an offer. Doesn't matter what you're selling, an association, a product, a service, underwater basket weaving lessons, it doesn't matter. You've got to do all that stuff. So just because it's simple, you still have to do the business part of the work behind it.
Okay, so I have the group that I have in mind is the entrepreneurs that are involved in alternative, um, spiritual, holistic type of businesses. What would be a good way to reach out to them? What can we offer there that may be of value?
Yeah, see, here's where that's a whole genre that I'm not in tune with. The whole spiritual stuff, the feel good things, that is, and I know nothing against these people. They're great people, but they're just like floating around wanting to save the world and all that stuff. And they don't have a lick of business sense. And you know, they've got these wild ideas that they're going to create a business around spirituality and all that stuff. And maybe they will, maybe they can't. I just don't get it. I've got to see, like, what are we selling? What is somebody need? What problem are you going to solve? I'm just too structured and focused and gear oriented to sell products and services and things like that. I I'm the wrong guy to train you and mentor you on how to sell woo-woo shit. I don't get it. You know, I know
Well, and I,
a lot of people serve that market and all that, and more power to them. But it just doesn't seem to be my forte.
and I was thinking about inviting you to speak to them on the first summit that I would create, so they would know how to market their stuff.
Yeah, the thing is the thing is there, I speak a different language than they do. You know, when I would go into business practice, it makes those people, it makes their eyes roll back in their head. It's
Well,
just, you know what I mean?
well, see, I relate to those people, and I relate to how they um their market, so to speak.
Yeah. So
And
what will, if
sure,
you if you're in tune to the, like, tell me this, what will they buy? What problem do they have
um,
that they'll purchase something to solve the problem?
well, you can sell them books, you can sell them uh, crystals, you can sell them incense, you can sell them training, you can sell them consulting, you can sell them coaching, um, you can sell them vitamins, and uh, I mean, name it, and you can market it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just a
So let's
they're all a
just
different. Go ahead.
let's just pick one of those things. Like we'll take the vitamins, for instance. If I were to go into the vitamin market and I'm going to sell vitamins, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to segment the market. I'm going to figure out all the buckets of the people that I could sell those vitamins to. And I'm going
Right,
to take that woo woo is going to be a bucket. And
right,
then I'm going to take the next bucket, and it might be people that are into health and sports and they want performance and what have you. And then I'm going
right. But
to
they
take
don't want to
another,
go to the traditional. They don't
yeah,
want to do the traditional. Well, they don't want to do the contemporary, um, current
yeah.
pharmaceutical.
But the reason I'm segmenting it is I want to know
Mhm.
who's going to pay me the most for that vitamin and who that vitamin is going to be worth the most to. And it's probably going to be the bucket of the person that's unhealthy and sick and wants his health back. It's not going
Well,
to
these
be
people,
the woo woo
no,
bucket.
yeah, the little buckets pay goofy bucks for vitamins and stuff if you communicate it right to them.
Yeah. But do you think they would pay as much or as easily as somebody that was actually sick and wanted their health back?
Well, 90% of Americans are sick one way or the other.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's easier to convince those people that the sickness they have is because of the pharmaceutical industry. And now you're selling them non-pharmaceutical vitamins.
yeah, yeah.
That
It
would,
it really
you
just
know,
comes down to how hard do you want to work in the business? Do you want to find the path of least resistance? And maybe they are. I really don't know that market enough to, everything I'm telling you is just from my viewpoint. I've seen
mhm.
I've been to a lot of their seminars and stuff, and the stuff just makes no sense whatsoever to me. And they are buying stuff. They are definitely buying stuff. I just can't quite get my head wrapped around it.
Yeah, but it's a huge growing market, especially uh, people who are marketing to those who are looking for more of a what I call traditional way of uh, doing the like a holistic approach to health and life.
Yeah, yeah.
There, that's becoming a huge market, and what I am envisioning is creating an association of entrepreneurs that are marketing to that. Uh,
Well, that
that
might actually be a good thing to create an association around, because they're definitely the type of people that are somewhat tribal, and they would, you know, they would gravitate toward becoming a part of something. And when you
Mhm.
create the membership, when you create the association, like, I know those stone things, they go around their necks and all that kind of stuff. They're totally into that kind of stuff. And you could create a whole line of products that whatever they believe in, you could either create the line and have it as part of the branded merchandise in the association, or you could create affiliate relationships with all the vendors that sell stuff into that market. And then you could have a
Yeah.
trade show where you brought the people to the vendors, and you could probably create a pretty good sized business around that.
Yeah, and well, there's right here in the area where I live, there is a lady that does two events per year, where it's a, uh, hang on a second, John.
So in the meanwhile, let's go to Woody. What do you got for us, Woody?
Hey, Captain John, it's good to see everyone alive.
We made it through another event, didn't we?
Hell yes. You were really brilliant, for people that weren't there, about you using several different AIs. And of course, it's hard to take notes in that room, and they don't like you filming. Um, but could you go over the four and how I would use them? Like, just like this is this, and it does these five things. This is this, and whether a business like mine, I know we're paying for Jasper. Michael Jenkins, my associate, he did that. But if you could explain them for me, and then I could tell them,
Sure.
it's amazing.
So Jasper basically is a chat bot, just like what Chat GPT is. Jasper was one of the first to market, even before OpenAI. Jasper was out, and it was able to do stuff that you can do now with Chat GPT or Perplexity or any of those. I like Perplexity better than I like Chat GPT. To me, what it seems like is Chat GPT is kind of just like an open worldwide everything you want. It's not real specific to anything, and it gives you good results, again, based on how you prompt it, but it really kind of made Jasper irrelevant because it'll do everything you want to do. Um, One of the things about Jasper, though, is they've put some kind of frameworks around it to kind of help you prompt if you're not good at prompting. But I would recommend you get good at prompting and just use the core animal to get what you want with the most horsepower. Now, the reason I like Perplexity better than I like ChatGPT is Perplexity is kind of geared more toward business from what I've seen. It looks at URLs, it'll analyze URLs, it'll give you the demographic information. And I have found that in Chat GPT, it's not near as good at that. Like, so a lot of times you give it a URL and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't know how to read the website. So Perplexity is trained to do that. And from a business perspective, that's priceless. To be able to put a website in and understand who the ideal customer is and the demographics around them and their buying triggers and all that stuff, because that's the stuff you move forward into your creation process. And the Perplexity is doing the whole thing for you. It's doing the analysis, it's doing the creation of the marketing campaign, and it will also, it'll get down to the nitty gritty. Like, you just tell it what you need after you've had it do the research on the market. It's got the ideal customer. You can say, okay, I'm doing a presentation in front of a live audience. Can you help me outline the presentation? And then, can you help me fill in the bones on this fish? What should the actual scripting be for the presentation? And then, I need a PowerPoint to go with the presentation. Can you make that for me? Can you write the prompts for the graphics that need to go into each PowerPoint slide? And it'll literally do all that work for you. And then you can say, okay, after the presentation, I'd like to give a free offer. What should that be? And then, can you write that for me? Can you write the script for the graphics that would go along with it? And it's just, it's literally creating all the assets that you would spend the rest of your life trying to figure out how to create. And it's going to create them there in seconds. And then you can say, hey, I'd like to do a quiz. Can you write the quiz questions for me? And you can say, with the quiz, we want to expose their pain and get them to self-realize that they need our product because of the way they're answering the quiz. And boom, it just does it for you. You don't even have to think about it. It's crazy. So Perplexity, if you were going to pick one tool to help you with your business as far as AI, I would pick Perplexity. Just far and away. And it's free. They do have a pro version, but the free version is all I've been using so far, and it's been amazing.
That's a great price. Jeez.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. Now, with the free version, I've heard that they just restricted it to like 5 chats per day. So you could basically ask it 5 questions per day. In 5 questions, you can get a lot out of it if you're very
If,
specific about them.
John, is 5 um, pro searches. You can do non-pro searches unlimited.
Oh, okay. Somebody had just told me, I was speaking at an event and they were using it, and somebody had said that there was only 5 without the pro version. And I haven't seen that yet, so maybe they were mistaken. Maybe they weren't on the right thing or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you get
I've not been
5
using
free.
pro.
You get 5 free pro searches, but you can
Oh,
have
that's
non-pro.
oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. They were probably on the pro version then. So I've not been using the pro. I've been using just the regular freebie, and it has worked flawlessly.
Yeah, and it has a toggle. It has a toggle where you can make your question a pro question or just leave it as it is.
Gotcha. Okay. I haven't dug into it that far. I just been using the free window just right out of the gate. So I didn't even look around. I'm just getting such good results out of that. I didn't even look for anything else. But then the next tool that I would really highly recommend is the Gamma tool. And I saw somebody put the link in the chat window here. What Gamma will do is it will create your visuals for you, like your PowerPoint presentations or your ebooks and all that. And when you pull up to create a new Gamma, it gives you these 3 different options. And one of them is you can put a script in. And I will get Perplexity to write me the script for my PowerPoint. Like, what should the title slides be? What should the headlines for each title slide be? What would be the prompt to create the graphic for each title slide? And it spits out this big script with all that stuff in it. And you can load that script into Gamma, and in a matter of less than a minute, it will create you the most beautiful presentation you've probably ever seen, with all the graphics, all the formatting, everything. And then you have the option to output it as a PowerPoint presentation. And then you can do your own editing on it. then you can also export it as a PDF. Now, if you export it as a PDF, guess what you just did? You just wrote a book. You just wrote your first book. You now have an ebook that you can use as a lead magnet to generate leads. So between those two tools, you could do a lot of damage in marketing. A lot. Like if you drop me off at the North Pole and I could pick two tools to make my first million, I'd take those two tools. and Karcher would be a very close third. You could build a phenomenal business in any area you wanted with just Perplexity and Gamma. And Gamma, I think, is like $10 a month or something for the paid version. And again, you can use the free version. The free version, you can, I don't know how many, they give you like 400 credits. And I think it's like 10 credits per page to create the PowerPoint presentation. So it's pretty inexpensive. And that's with the free one. Then, you get the paid one and you can do just about anything you want. It's really, really an awesome tool. So Roy, go ahead.
Okay, there I go. Okay, yeah, the question with regarding the template that you created that you put into my Kartra account on the campaign.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of email marketing, but this is much more sophisticated than anything I've created. You did a thing when we were learning Kartra way back when, and you went through and did a video and showed us kind of how to do it. Is that kind of thing available to kind of get me out? Because I like the step-by-step thing.
Yeah.
So that I can put all my stuff in there, because this thing is blowing my mind. I really want to use it.
It is awesome. I imported it into Linda's site, and she's doing a 3-day summit. You guys might have got the email I sent out. She's doing a 3-day summit with a bunch of different speakers, and she's using that same funnel. She took that exact funnel and just tweaked the membership area, tweaked, the whole email sequences and everything. And she's using that funnel to run her entire 3-day summit.
And she figured out how to change everything herself. She figured out the order that you need to do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she's
better than I am.
Well, I had worked with her a little bit on it. She's one of my apprentice people. So, I work with her one-on-one for some stuff. But yeah, she did most of it herself. I mean, I kind of pointed her in the right direction, but what I was going to do, and when I was going through that with her, and I'm also doing that with Mary too, that's on here today. We're getting her set up with a different, a little bit more stripped down model. But what I was going to do, and I failed to do it completely. When I started going through it with Linda, my intent was to detail out everything that needed to be changed and edited. And when I got like halfway in, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, there is. And I don't know necessarily the best order to do it either. So it's kind of like, what do I do?
Yeah, it's like there is not a specific order.
Okay. That doesn't matter. All right.
Once all the pieces are in place, you just have to make sure you touch each one.
Okay.
Like there's a form. You need to go through the form, look at all the links, because some of that stuff I've got hard linked to thank you pages and what have you.
I know.
So you really do need to go through each asset in the whole sequence and make sure that you've got your branding on it. Everything is you, not me. Like there's some stuff in there, I think, even where I've got affiliate links. You don't want to put my affiliate links in your stuff. What I should have done, like looking back in retrospect, what I should have done, and I may still do this, I may take a clone of that and strip all of my stuff out of it and just make it a generic template. So that way you're not having to, redo all of my stuff. I hadn't really gone through it myself until I did it with Linda. But once we did, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of
I'll say,
formatting that I did to my stuff where, like for instance, there's pages. I think there's like 13 pages in the funnel. And each one of those pages has all the SEO information in it. I could have left all that blank, so if you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to do it. But since it's got mine, you have to do it because you gotta put your own stuff in there. So, it was a great idea at the time, and it's a phenomenal funnel. It's
oh my
awesome.
gosh, yes.
It's really powerful. But you really got to do some work to get it flushed out.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I could just take it piece by piece. I was hoping there might have been
No, there
easier
really
way to do it.
there really isn't a specific order. And what I've found, over the last 30 years, what I've found is during the day, during any given day, there are cycles of your periods of highly effective things.
Mhm.
Like there'll be times during the day when you're really creative.
Yeah.
And then there'll be times in the day when you're really focused. And then there'll be times of the day when you're really ready to fuck off.
Yeah.
And if you try and do the focused effort during the screw off time,
Right.
it ain't going to be very productive.
Right.
If you're trying to force creativity when you're in productivity mode, it's not going to be very effective. So I found that, if I've got time to do something, I will do the task that is in alignment with how I'm feeling at the time.
Oh, okay.
And that to me has been really effective. I won't go against the flow. You don't fight Mother Nature. If you're feeling creative, do the creative stuff. If
Okay.
you're feeling focused and productive and all that, do the analytical stuff then. And if you feel like playing, then step away from the desk and go play and come
Yeah.
back when you're ready.
Okay, great.
You'll get a lot more done. So, and another thing I did too, like when I was in real like production mode, like real detail oriented stuff, like I was trying to figure out how something was programmed or how to
Right.
do something I didn't know how to do. And if I got to a point where it just nothing was working and I was frustrated, I'd go lay down and take a nap.
Mm.
I would literally just go out into my tiki hut, throw a blanket over my head, and just go to sleep. And usually when I'd wake up, I'd have the answer. It's like it came back, I was fresh, boom, knocked it out.
Oh, good
So
stuff.
yeah, just keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Wolf, what do you got for us today?
A process question.
Okay.
So I want to respond to incoming contacts. So someone fills out a form.
Okay.
Before I respond to that, I want to screen that they are in the area that we serve, like say the USA.
Okay.
Kartra catches that in their profile, but can I use that to set up an automation?
Oh,
Somehow I've been looking at different ways to do that don't require a manual intervention,
gotcha.
which we could, we don't currently have volume. I did this once before and ended up manually screening 2,000 spam inputs.
Yeah.
So
And
what you can do is you can like send them to a quiz. Like if they're going to come in, are you taking them into a consultation or what are you doing with them?
no, it's for my book offer.
Okay. So you don't even want to make an offer to them if they're not in the US? Is that it?
No, no,
Okay.
the offer doesn't apply outside of the US.
Okay. So a perfect way to do that would be to force them through a quiz in Kartra. And one of the quiz questions could be, are you operating in the US, or are you a US citizen? Anything that you need to know to qualify them. And then the output of the quiz could give them the page to go to. Like if they match your criteria, here's the offer for the book. If they don't match your criteria, send them off to some affiliate offer or something. That would be an easy way to do it.
And send them off to my ACT affiliate link.
There you go. Send them out to make some money. But that
Excellent.
would be an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Kartra does get their IP, but then you'd have to integrate that into something that would detect if it was a US IP, and it would be much more complicated. But a simple quiz would be super simple. Now, and literally the quiz could be, hey, take this quiz to see if you qualify for our free book deal. And, naturally they're going to take it to see if they qualify. And it could be as simple as, are you a US citizen? Yes or no? And then the thank you page comes up. You qualify. It could be that simple. So put the work on them. Let them do the work for you.
But that still allows them to give me a false answer that I can't verify until they get to the cart and start to check out.
It does, but tell me this: why do you care? What's the significance of that?
I'm because I'm not going to ship my book outside the US. I don't want to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't want to burn I don't want to burn any marketing dollars on people that are outside my client profile.
Gotcha.
Can't you put an automation in Kartra that says it outside the US that it can't ship?
The only automations I've seen for the emails in Kartra is all time response based.
Well, I have the perfect solution for you.
Okay.
The absolute perfect solution is you have a book that is available for sale to all continental US destinations, and it's X price. And you have the same book available for international shipment, and it's $150 extra. And then it's probably worth $150 for you to send your associate to the post office. So if that's the thing, yeah, that would be simple.
You're saying with the quiz, John and Jeffrey, I'm using the AI right now to write my quizzes to try to get them better, to find more qualifying questions. Have you tried that, Jeff?
I have not.
But yeah,
But the screen that I'm most concerned with though is because I'm shipping them. If it was a downloadable digital product, it'd be like, man, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm shipping them a physical book, and I don't want to pay to print the books and then send them to someone that I will never do business with because they're outside of the scope of companies that I would ever do business with.
yeah. Well, that's a perfect way to do your thank you pages on the quiz. If they are in the US, you can put them to a success page that says you qualify to get this shipped to your door. Here's the link to go ahead and make the purchase, and we can get this right over to you. If they're outside the US, you say you don't qualify, for shipping of the physical book, but we can send you the ebook. And you can
I can't send them the ebook.
Can't send it to them
because it's selling on Amazon, and it violates Amazon's terms of service.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
I have, but I can work that though. I've got and thank you for the insight on that, Tim. I like that. I made a quick mental note on making use of that. I've also used AI to generate an executive summary of the book and summarize key insights by chapter. So I can use that to quickly develop something to offer. I was going to split test that, but that'd be a way to deal with the outside of our service definition.
It is when they buy the book, are they buying it on Amazon?
No, they're buying it from me.
Is it possible?
for this offer. So it's using the Frank Kern process that's in Kartra.
Yeah, yeah. Is it
So they're just paying
possible?
for shipping.
Is it
And
possible to get Amazon to ship it?
I could, but it's still gonna cost me.
Okay.
And with the upsells and downsells that come from it, it's just wasted energy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just divert them then. Just
So
do the quiz, divert them, and you know that'll probably get 98% of your problem solved. If you got to refund somebody because they went through and they snuck through and they placed an order, just refund them. Just say, hey, we can't ship outside the U.S. Not that big a deal, I don't think. Unless you run it and you got a bunch of jokers trying to scam the system, then you might have a
well,
bigger issue. But I
yeah,
don't.
because our last
Oh,
test we got several thousand
Cool.
outside the US
Yeah, yeah. You got
and nothing in our target market. So it was it was like
was
100% spam. I mean, it was just junk that came
was it,
in.
was it bots? That
Probably.
are they having to pay for it?
No, it didn't get to that step because they
No,
had to manually intervene to see, is this someone that we can ship to or want to ship to?
gotcha. Okay.
And it was just all, it looked like bots.
Well, the bots don't know how to answer the quizzes either, so that'll
So
that'll
they
pro-
can't even get in. That helps.
yeah, that'll probably knock out most of
Yeah,
it.
I like that. And then, because this is all based on the advertisement or the video that I shared 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's the follow-up process for that. But
okay.
at the same time, we can split test the quiz just by going straight with the quiz against that video to see
Hmm.
what that does for us.
Sure,
So like that. Thank you.
that would be cool to know. Keep us posted. All right, Mr. Porter. Hey,
Yes, Mr. John, can you hear me okay?
yeah, we haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on?
Still trying to sort some things out here. One of the things I just did is I got a notification from Google about their new Gemini thing. And
Yes.
one of the things that I did learn very, very early on from you was the length of your prompts will have an effect on the quality of the prompts that you get back. And I went ahead and bit the bullet and spending $20 to get a month through Poe. The reason I rather went to Poe rather than straight to Google is because Poe still has access to everything. Subscribe to one, you have access to everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whereas everything up to this point, I mean, when we got up to the point where it would take 25,000 tokens, I thought, okay, now we've really got an AI that can do something. The Gemini has 1 million tokens,
Yeah.
which means you can upload 1,500 pages that say analyze this.
Uh-huh.
And so I found that I got some spectacular results. I said, okay, here's some of the basic stuff, and I want to do it. And it came up with blowing my mind level kind of copy and big ideas. And it's like, holy moly, this thing is really taking off. So I'm going to dump my whole brain into it. This is everything I know, because with the VIP leads, we're still selling unicorns. Nobody believes that you have what you have. And if you ask anybody, do you need leads? No, we got all the leads we need. We got all the leads. And you know that they're lying. So there has to be a way of doing it. So AI looks really great as long as what you're doing is go out there and look for something that already exists and make a new report about it. But it only works on what exists currently and what it can research and do it. And so what I'm looking at doing is trying to get it to go around the other, say, okay, this hasn't existed. So what we're looking for is these markers. Now go out and look for this in this. And it seems to be doing it. I mean, I want to try I've not tried Perplexity yet, but you said that I want to feed your your acquisition air presentation into it and say, okay, rebrand it because we're going after a slightly different market, so it's got to
Yeah.
make some course corrections and stuff like that. But I was wondering, have you had a chance to play with Gemini at all? That, or are you still just working with ones you've talked about here at the beginning?
Yeah, I know about Gemini. I have not really had a chance to play with it myself. The deal with Gemini is when Google first came out with AI, it came out with Bard. And I don't know, I didn't like Bard. And
No, they stopped doing Bard and they've
yeah,
rebranded Gemini and they've if you watch, I went ahead and bit the bullet during my me time last night and watched the 2-hour presentation of what Google put out when releasing Gemini. And the fact that I can go back and say, okay, here's all my bank statements for the last 7 years. Would you go through and please redo all of this so that it goes through and does all the dividing it up by category and breaking it out into, I mean, it will do all of that stuff. Here's all my information, and you can load up years worth of information and it will digest it and it will summarize it, or it'll put together spreadsheets, or you can take a picture of it. They were showing one thing, a gal bought a record player, and so she turned her camera on and Gemini and said, I bought this record player, but when I try and make it, it doesn't do it. What's going on? And it did a diagnosis. It says, here's the thing you're buying. Here's a system. It walked her through the whole thing on how to
yeah,
give her the model, make, serial number, how to do it. Here's the problem. This thing typically had, I mean, it's like, holy moly.
yeah. So the deal with Gemini is Google got defeated basically with Bard when that came out. And Google does not like to be second rate. So they didn't like to be second place behind OpenAI and ChatGPT. So they went back to the drawing board and they came out with, what's supposedly a really kick-ass program, and that's Gemini. And I just haven't had a chance to play around with it yet. And after getting with Perplexity and liking that so much, it's like, I'm just having a blast with Perplexity right now. But
Yeah, well, they're coming out with, they said in 3 weeks, they're going to be upping the tokens from 1 million to 2 million tokens.
yeah, yeah.
Which means
All this stuff is going to do nothing but just keep getting better. We're just on the front edge of this wave. So all these tools, everything's going to keep getting better. The thing that you need to do is you need to focus on your own improvement to make sure that your use of all this stuff gets better. Figure out how to prompt better, start working with it. And, it's only really going to be limited by your own imagination of what you want it to do. And I've found that, when my imagination runs out, I will use Perplexity's imagination. Give you an example of how I do that is when I get to the end and I'm just out. I'm like, I don't know what else to ask for. I ask Perplexity, what else am I missing? What else should I be thinking about to market this product? And it spit out a whole laundry list of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna work that hard. But in looking at the list, I'm like, that's where I got the idea for the quiz, for Acquisitionaire. It was in the question of what am I missing? What did I forget? What am I not thinking about? And it gave me all that stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, a quiz. That's brilliant. And then I just said, hey, can you help me with the quiz? What should it be? And then boom, I had a quiz. Plugged it into Kartra and away we went. I even asked it, what should the image be? And it gave me the image prompt. It's like this thing it's about to eat your breakfast for you besides just cook it for you. It's just awesome. So, all right, Gregory.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hello.
So my question has been, is Kartra have the Kartra's autoresponder set up yet with the SingGrid, and the additional maybe what services or services they're going to be offering with that SingGrid, and finally the cost. Will it still be the same rate going forward?
Oh, gotcha. So there's three real priority things and that are all in play at the same time as far as updating the Acquisition Air platform. The Kartra one is still in play as far as I know. They got it to work, but there was something about it that they had a glitch on it. So I don't know that it's been publicly released yet. But like I said, it should
So
be
they're
really
not-
close. I don't
So
know.
that's essentially today they're not ready. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I don't think it's ready today. The other one that is a big one too is the idea of prepaying for leads. Because what could happen, like if you're a lead gen, if you're selling leads to somebody, they could get leads before they've actually paid for them. And then if their credit card doesn't go through, then you got to chase them.
No, I mean, but the whole thing with acquisition error is that having the card on plate. I mean, I have several clients already.
Yeah.
And last night I got to talk to a good sized company, and they're interested now to know more about it.
Yeah.
And
Even if they have their card in play, their card could fail. And then you're still on the hook for the leads. So that's going to be a big thing. I wasn't really too concerned with that for my customers, but as I sell white labels out to people and they're doing it, they have big concerns because they're not in tune with their market like I am. Like most of the people I sold Acquisition Air to on our Black Friday special is all people I know. It's all people on the list.
Right.
So I wasn't real worried about, getting taken advantage of. But I could see their point, and that's been a real priority to get that in play for them.
Well, the majority of the customers I have right now are still the sole proprietor, not the white label. But there is, like, I have two people who are interested in white label, but they want that autoresponder in play so that when they launch, that's the thing that they're after. So the bottom line is that
So we have two.
right.
We have two autoresponders in play currently.
Oh,
And
okay.
the Go High Level is up and running. That
All
one's
right.
working flawlessly. And then we've also got the SendGrid, which it's working flawlessly if you know how to work SendGrid.
Okay. So if my two white labels that are interested, and because one of them is interested in the cartridge system, but because cartridge is not ready, I would just say get your white label and go ahead and get into SendGrid or get into high level, of which is of if you're familiar with one of the two or the other. But the person that I have has a thing. Have you ever seen it called eligible or something like that? Oh, I wrote it down. I don't know where I put the note. Anyway, oh, this is on the. Here it is. It's covered up. Okay, so it's oh, I like I can't. AGILY. So the bottom line is, may I ask you, the only thing is we only have two autoresponders with auto acquisition error. Bottom line, high level or SendGrid. In the story, right?
Correct. Yes, that is correct currently.
All right. And so if they want to go and continue with the label, just have them go there. Don't worry about the cartridge thing because the cartridge is not ready yet. Bottom line.
Correct. Yeah. If they need it up and running today, cartridge is not in play today. I don't think it's very far off, but I've been saying that now for the last 2 months. So.
Well, I mean, if
these
are not cartridge people client as of yet. They're interested in cartridge, but they already have their website. One is a cabinet maker. He already has his website. He already has his crews and stuff going out, but he wants to migrate into the white label zone because he knows other contractors and people who can use the service for the contracting business that he's connected with. The bottom line would be, I just say, if you want the autoresponder, go to high level, go to SendGrid. My question would be is that if he runs into any technical problems, once he signs into the white label and he runs into a technical problem, Brady's crew is up and running on the high level and SendGrid protocols and things that are necessary to make it connect and work. Is I correct in that answer?
Yes.
Okay, that's the answer I get back to him, and then let him know that if he wants to get rolling, SendGrid or high level, and we can go from there.
Yep.
And that's it. And then last night I got to talk to a major company. They're interested. I got my fingers crossed. We'll see what happens next. Bye.
Awesome. Very, very good. All right, Woody, did you have something else for us, or?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You know, it's very hard to be involved in 4 projects and then drop out. And so it is with Forbidden Elvis. You know, we've created Michael Jenkins created a whole platform that's on the cartridge system, and it's spitting out the copy that we're putting into to keep the Facebook group happy. And I think I've got over 1,000 members or whatever, and you know, and that like the group. They didn't join in and get the Forbidden Elvis yet. They're just on the attraction site.
Okay.
And so I thought, if I turn all those people onto the Forbidden Elvis Association, then all that marketing that we're doing, we can repurpose it.
Yeah, you could have the Association of Elvis Lovers. You could,
Exactly, and that's a lot of fish in the net.
yeah, you could put on like shows and have Elvis impersonators come in. You know, there's a lot of stuff you could do around something like that that's got a big draw, a big community following it.
And then should I put a bot on my Forbidden Elvis site that talks like Elvis?
You could. I don't know the legalities of how much trouble you would get in, but you know, there's a new AI. I don't have the link to it offhand, but it's going to be in the new update of the AI book. But there's a couple of new programs out that do music in the AI, and literally you can just give it a sentence. You can say like, "Hey, I want a music about my girlfriend that fell down and broke her arm, you know, and her dog ran away."
And he took all the
Country
money in the pickup truck.
Yeah, and whatever details you want in the song, and this thing will literally write all the lyrics. It'll do all the melodies. It'll put the voice to the singing, and it'll output you a full-blown song. And it's good. It's like you go, wow, you know, this sounds like something I should be hearing on the radio. It's
So,
not just like podunk crap. It's good stuff.
but Woody, on that idea, all right. I do the same thing with the acquisitionaire program. You can very easily, if you make your own make your own Elvis
Meme?
avatar, you can actually white label yours or basically buy the domain name, build an Elvis and have it point to get your affiliate link to Build a Becky. And you sell Build a Becky just off of Build a Elvis. And it fits your brand.
I forgot what a Becky is.
That's the AI assistant that John has, the Build a Becky assistant. So, I mean, you with Elvis, I don't know, John, I think that'd probably be a beautiful fit for that, to build an Elvis, if he can build an Elvis AI.
Yeah.
And then he can sell your Build a Becky program saying, this is how I did it. And he could just call it Build an Elvis.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. You could have, so basically, Woody, what Tim's talking about there is putting a bot on your site, like a chat bot, that is an Elvis impersonator to answer your questions. And that's that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and John, I use like for the acquisitionaire, I bought the domain name Simple Easy Leads because of the fact it fits my brand. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I have not bought the white label, which is probably what I should do, but I just point people to it all day long. Go to chat, you know, because I use my brand to point out what John's already created. I'm not going to sell it myself. John's got it. All right. But that's in your case, Woody, because you've got the Elvis thing. Trust me, Elvis is going to sell a lot better than Becky. All right. But if you use Elvis to sell Becky and you get, a couple bucks for every one you sell for John, heck, that's a whole other income stream for you.
I'm always open to that. Then I can go on the boat and eat fish. Only if you stay in the dock.
All right. Let's see. Melinda, go ahead.
Thank you, Tim.
You bet.
Hi.
Hello.
I am new to everything and still trying to use your stuff to figure out my ideal customer, my ideal referral partner. I went through the ACT program just kind of the first time, and then started back through the workbook, and then started working with Chat GPT. My ideal customer is going to be a small business owner. And so, what are their fears? What are their goals? What are the objections? I, kind of worked through all that. So, okay, so now I can kind of go back through and do the same thing. Okay, it's a woman, and then it's a man, so that's 2. And then I could go back through and kind of insert that same deal with the 4 personalities. Okay, so now I've got 8. So now I've got 8 avatars. And so then I could drill down to a particular industry, let's say long-term healthcare. Okay, so now I could do 8 for long-term healthcare. And then you see what I'm saying? I don't know where to,
So
I don't know where to stop. I don't.
So that segmentation part is really important, not so that you see how many people you could potentially serve, but so you can look at the buckets and see which bucket is most profitable.
Okay.
And that's what that whole exercise is all about. And then what I always recommend, most people have stuff that will serve a lot of different people and even multiple markets. But what I would do is I would focus my effort where you think you can make the easiest penetration to the market and the biggest splash. And that was what I call the most profitable.
Okay.
I try and pick one that I believe is going to be easy and profitable. It doesn't have to be like the most lucrative, but when I say profitable, I also kind of put in there that you like to work with that type of person. Just because they're profitable, it might be just like your worst nightmare, and that you don't want that. So make your selection based on that stuff, like who's going to make you money, who's going to be easy, who's going to be enjoyable to work with, and limit it to just one to get started. Try and limit it to one. And I know it's hard. It's really hard to do that. But if you can do that, you can actually get a campaign up and running. If you try and do 4, you're probably not going to get anything up and running, and you're going to get frustrated and you're going to give up. And that's not what you want. You want to just get a small success. You don't have to do a home run right out of the gate. You just have to get up and get on base. And, I don't know if you know baseball analogy, but you might not be the right one for that analogy, but you're really just trying to make a small success so you can expand on it.
Okay.
If you figure out how to sell to one, then you can take what you did and you can clone it. You can just duplicate it and just make some tweaks to it for the second one. And now you've got 2. But if you try and do 4, you'll never get any.
So I start with 1, and so that's going to kind of be my avatar that I'm going to use, like, for instance, on Alignable or on my Facebook page.
So here's the other thing, like where you're going to get them. It's not just necessarily throwing out Alignable or Facebook or this. You want to go where they are. So in an analysis, part of that analysis of that person is figuring out where they are, not just going to a platform hoping they'll be there. But and with the AI can tell you a lot of stuff about them. Like You know, it can tell you, ask it like, what websites are they on? What social media platforms do they typically visit? What publications do they read? And you can get a lot of detailed information about where they're hanging out. You know, do they understand their problem, or they may be searching for it? That might tell you, you know, search market is a good place to start. If they're like let's say if they're a younger generation, some of those like don't like Facebook.
True. Yeah.
If you went to Facebook just thinking they're there, maybe they're not. Or if you
Yeah.
went to Alignable's got a ton of small businesses on it, but it's got a lot that are not active.
Mhm.
So it may, you know, again, it might not be the place to go. If it's like a professional, you might find that LinkedIn might be the place to hunt for them.
Okay.
So you always do your traffic based on your analysis piece. It all really goes back to that foundation. You figure out who it is, where they are, and then you create the messaging, and then the traffic piece, you bring the messaging to them wherever they are.
Okay.
But really, like, don't try and build an army out of the gate. Just focus on one.
Well, so I mean, I guess I just feel like I kind of, tried to do the analysis with Chat GPT, and I still just came back to, well, it's a small business owner. So, you know,
See, small business owner probably is way too broad.
yeah.
So what's the product that you're selling them?
It's in the insurance sector, and it is a unique product. It's a health benefit, which is also a tax strategy. So it's self-funded. Everyone goes home with more money, and you have this great comprehensive, very proactive health benefit for employees. Employer saves on taxes, employees save on taxes. And so,
Okay. So yeah,
I mean,
that's going to be a more specific small business though.
okay.
What I would do is if you have a website up that's got all the detailed information about it, or if you've got a competitor that does, I would put their URL into Perplexity and just do that same exercise. Were you on in the beginning of the call when I was going
I,
through that process?
I'm on,
So you take the URL and you put it into Perplexity, the AI program, or you could use Chat GPT as well, and say, do you understand this website? Who is this for? And then
okay.
if it does, if it knows exactly what the product is and all that, then you ask it, who's the ideal customer for this, the most profitable, easy to sell to customer.
Okay.
And then it will tell you, it'll give you a lot of the avatar information right there. And then you can ask them, you know, where do they hang out? Where would be the best place for me to reach them with an advertisement? And what should the advertisement be? How am I going to grab their attention? What are their deepest fears? What do they want? All of this kind of stuff. You can even ask it, you know, are they typically aware of this product, or do I have to make them aware?
Okay.
It's really, really good at building marketing campaigns and figuring out all the stuff that would be really hard for you to figure out on your own.
Okay.
It's got all that data. But that's where I would do. I would let the AI help you figure out who your ideal customer is. Because you know, doing what you're doing, it's the way we've always done it, and it's hard. And it leaves you with a lot of uncertainty because you don't know if what you're doing is right. Because
Right.
you're kind of basing it on just what you think, not what's actual factual out in the world. And when you're doing it with AI, you're really getting access to a lot of information, like right at your fingertips. It's really cool.
Okay.
So that would be where I would start to point you, is lean on AI, figure out who your most profitable avatar is, and then just really just suck it down to that one and build a marketing campaign for that one.
Okay.
Start making some sales and then step out. go back to the AI and say, who should I target next? This one's working really good. Who would be the next one that would be easy to clone this campaign and go to town?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Anytime. You can ask anything you want on here. All right. Roger this or Roger that, whichever one we prefer today.
Hey, John.
Hey, how goes?
Let's get the video going. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh, it's auto blurring. Wow. First time I've seen that new algorithm. These past few weeks have been some of the best of your calls. A
They
few
keep
weeks
getting
ago,
better,
maybe
don't
4
they?
weeks, they do. About 4 weeks ago, I think it is, you were walking us through your amazing new full-blown Kartra funnel.
Huh?
It had all of the tags and response and logic in it.
Yep.
While you were doing it, you thought of a couple of things you wanted to add. So I remember you're saying something like, "Oh, I'll post it by the end of the day," and then you thought, "No, I'll add these things and then I'll get it posted." Question: did you add those things, and is it posted?
I believe I did. I don't even remember what the things were, but since it is posted, I'm pretty sure I did it.
Okay, all
and
right, that
and
sounds good.
actually, after I posted it, I actually thought of more things and went and did those too.
Oh, awesome.
And again, I can't even off the top of my head, I can't even remember what those things were. But as I was actually setting it up for myself and setting it up for a couple of other people, other things came to mind. I'm like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. So right now, it's as good as it's probably gonna get, without me really diving into a whole new level.
Right. Speaking of diving into a whole new level, I'm assuming that the integration of Acquisition Air with Kartra will roll out and get any bugs cleaned up.
Yeah.
If for some reason there's some impediments and it's just not on the horizon, is there any way we can get that same kind of template in Go High Level?
Yes, absolutely. I've got a friend of mine, Damien. He's building, they call them snapshots in Go High Level. And I think he's got several already ready to go. Because in Go High Level, we already have it integrated in. And I know a lot of his clients use Go High Level, and they've been getting good results with it. So I could probably get templates from him if you want to use Go High Level.
I prefer Kartra.
Yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't be able to help you with it because it's a foreign language to me.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, we'll have Kartra here pretty quick. I'm shocked that we don't have it already, honestly, and I haven't had a chance really to sit down with the programming team and figure out, like, what are we up against? Maybe it's something I can solve for you. Because sometimes they tell me a problem and I'm like, yeah, that's not really a problem. Just do this.
All right.
All right. Well, cool.
Hey, Woody, you're all but. All right. John, that's all I had. Thank you so much.
All right. Very welcome. All right. Anything else before we bug out for today? All right, guys. Well, I don't want to blow up anybody's heads, so we'll go ahead and wrap her down for today and be back on, I believe, regular time next week.
Aye, aye, Captain.
So,
Aye, aye, Captain.
all right.
All ashore is going ashore. Be well, everyone.
You too, Greg.